If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
And we, dear listener, have another jam from the big homie. You'll see it up
Mike
there very
Franco.
soon. DJ Mike freaking Franco.
Heavy metal makes everything better.
Heavy metal makes everything better.
All right, you guys.
Speaking
next
of
up,
those accents, did you see that documentary I was watching last night? Did you get to catch that at all?
some of it, yeah. The con.
It's right up your alley. We'll watch
I know. I wanted to watch
Yeah,
it, and
you
I
kinda
started
scouted
it.
each
I don't
other.
know if you noticed, but it had been started by like 2 minutes, and then I was like, "Dang it, I can't do it." I wanted to watch it, but I just couldn't watch it without you, so I stopped it.
I believe it is a decision in the compatibilist sense, but since most of you are libertarians, I'll agree with you and disagree with you simultaneously.
Oh my God, babe.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Here we go. Why are you laughing at me?
Sometimes you say these things and there's so many giant words in there, and
Enter-
like it's just a lot. It's just funny because you're looking like a cool guy with your bandana on.
I bet you're gonna say ignorant Negro. Go ahead,
No,
say, oh, you
you
got a
look-
bandana on. You look like you're from the
you're
ghetto.
looking like a cool guy, like you could come out with these great raps, which you do, but then at the same time you're super smart and
Enterprise Earth.
you don't look like a nerd. But
What is it? Is Enterprise Earth next? Where
no,
dreams go
Lamb
die?
to the no, I'm sorry, yeah, Where Dreams Are Broken by Enterprise Earth. Yes. Stop looking at me and just start the song.
I was right, dear listener. Let the record state. All right, guys, here we go. DJ Mike Franco, Enterprise Earth, Where Dreams, what now?
Where Dreams Are Broken.
Where Dreams Are Broken, 4920. Let's go. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does. This sounds like you're gonna pay for this. Wouldn't that be a perfect spot for a scream?
Brace yourself, bitches! Mike Franco is feeling trashy today, ladies and gents. Brace yourself!
Yes. Guys,
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
You seem to fully enjoy the song.
It's a pretty crazy song. Oh my goodness.
You look crazy right now.
Oh, that's because I know people.
What? You look crazy because you know people?
No, that's because like I was thinking of a specific situation of somebody that I had sent messages to that I was like, yo. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking about this situation. And so I was like picturing somebody that like, I was picturing two types of people while I was doing the song. One of them was somebody who is like, like it says, betrayed by, okay, I've lost everyone and everything. I have nothing left to lose. Betrayed by the closest to me. All I ever wanted was a place to call home. All I ever gotten was a desolate place to roam. So there was like one version of the person where it's like, where they're demonized and made to be the black sheep. And they really, like, they didn't necessarily do anything to get themselves in that place. And then on the other hand is someone, because this is the thing, he was saying like, I'm broken fucked me up. No one here can bring me back broken. This world has effed me up. So there's like the two, everybody can say that, like mostly. I mean, like, have you ever met anybody that they were like, yo, life's been great. I never had any issues. Like, I think a lot of people, because we live in a sinful world, have things
I think
that
Peggy was like that. Her life's been pretty smooth.
that you thought of. You knew me for the longest and you thought my life was pretty smooth.
Yeah, but I knew her pretty well. I mean, she told me basically her life was smooth. The hardest part was that Hal had to travel for the Navy and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, because I would have told you that for a whole section of my life. I would have said that too. I would have said, yeah, it was very smooth. I did say that to you bunches of times. I was like, I don't know. I don't have anything really to say. Everything was pretty smooth.
So you think everybody had a hard life?
I think degrees, obviously. I think that some people have it really, really. I mean, there are some things that we've heard of that have just been unbelievable stuff that just.
So you don't believe Peggy when she said that she had a pretty simple life?
I find it very difficult to believe. Especially.
When I look at the way she handles problems, like things that to me seem very small, like if you see a person like whining about a stubbed toe, you're like, okay, they've never had a broken bone. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So there's things that like people who've been through stuff seem to just be desensitized to that she wasn't.
I would agree with that. Although if you bury your head in the sand and you don't acknowledge that certain things have happened, obviously.
So you think it's possible that people can go through life without a major crisis or trauma? You don't think that that's possible?
Not really, no.
See, I don't think. I think there's millions of people that have had lives that are just
vanilla, just nothing.
Not necessarily vanilla, but without a major crisis or trauma. You know, parents stayed together and they went through school. And
it depends on how you say major. Like
something that's traumatic.
Yeah, I don't know. I find that hard to believe that somebody can live and die and not have any trauma. They never dealt with trauma. I don't think so.
Like, what do you mean by trauma?
Well, that's the question, right?
Like,
I don't know what that means.
Like something, like we use the term traumatized because something especially horrible happened that left a horrible imprint on them that they can't shake, right? I don't think that everybody has gone through something like that.
You think that somebody can live their whole life and not have anything like that happen to them?
I do. I think millions of people live that way.
What?
Yeah. I mean, where in the Bible does it say you have to have some horrible trauma happen to you?
I mean, how? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Wow, that'd be such a weird world to live in. Well, no. I mean, for the longest time, I felt like nothing really happened.
Well, I'm not talking about, like, ignoring it. I'm talking about literally...
Nothing happened.
Nothing majorly traumatic happened. Parents stayed together. Nobody killed themselves. Nobody was assaulted.
That's crazy.
You know, I had a little fight at school, but, you know, typical things that people go through. Yeah. But pretty much live a regular lifespan and then go on to glory. I think millions of people live like that.
Wow. I don't know what I think about that.
Are you upset at those people?
No. The only time I would be upset at the... Well, okay, I guess...
The only trauma I had in life was meeting you two.
Lies, Amy.
That's true for a lot of people. But you just can't quit us! Which is also true for a lot of people. You miserable person, you. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Geez, I don't know. I mean, I will say that, like... No, I don't think I have a problem with people never going through anything if that's really the case. I think the only reason I would have an issue with that is like, boy, I don't know. I was gonna say like,
well, this guy certainly had some trauma.
well, yeah.
People deserted him in his time of need.
Yeah, but okay, so what I was saying was there was the two versions, right? One of them is somebody who's been basically made to be the black sheep. And I'm not necessarily talking about who you think I'm talking about.
Yeah, in the family system, yeah.
Yeah, but just in generalizations, they've become the black sheep. They didn't do anything necessarily. Maybe something happened that they don't even really know about because they were a kid. Wow, I just got this really huge craving for Jell-O. Anyway, so no, I mean, I think I must have seen an ad or something. Anyway, so there's that person, and then the next person is someone who, like, I guarantee you, if you talk to Mr. Alaska Bound, he would probably be like, boo-hoo, I've been abandoned by my family and this and that. But he's like,
he deserves to die.
I
that
mean,
guy.
He's a bad person.
Yeah.
And he created that situation, and we met that other person where it's like, so like, I guess that's why I felt a little crazy when I was going through the song, because I was like, should I agree with this person or should I be angry at this person? Like, I didn't know what to do with the song because I didn't know, like, are they legitimately a victim? If they are, then we should feel compassion for them. But if there's somebody who's not a victim, but they've made victims of other people and then they want us to feel bad for them, then, you know, because okay, so I was going to say everybody has had effed up stuff happen to them, but eventually somebody has to say, okay, well, just because effed up stuff happened to me doesn't mean I'm going to do that to somebody else. And somebody has to do that. Like, you know, like that's that whole eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing. And then basically Jesus comes along and he says, that's no longer going to be the case. Like, now we turn the other cheek. Well, you can look at that in like a conflict situation, but you can also look at that as like, you know, failings that your parents had that now you have, and you're going to pass those on to your kids and let them duke it out and deal with it, or are you going to figure it out so you can pass them, you know, so you can teach them properly so that they can be more equipped for their future, or, you know, people that, you know.
Well, here's the thing. I said that guy deserves to die. But
yeah, break the cycle, Gothma. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
His family shouldn't be the ones to kill him.
It shouldn't? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I don't think his family should be the one to kill him. So my point is, like, everybody should have a group of people that are going to be with them regardless. Like, I always say, like, I pretty much take my mom's philosophy on this. It didn't matter whether I was right or wrong. Publicly, she was always on my side. Privately, when we got home, she gave me the right hand of fellowship.
I wonder what that...
So, my mother, like, it didn't matter. Like, you know, your son beat up my son. What him do? What him do? Nothing. Your son was just angry. Come on.
Son was just
he beat you just so. He beat you just so. Basically means, oh, he fucked you up for no reason, huh? And they were like, yeah, no reason.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened a few times. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck Johnny
And
Jones.
you were just angry.
Nah, she knew I was an angry kid. She's like, me not believe it. And then she came home and said, why are you always beating on these poor white people?
Oh my gosh.
And Jamaican parents whoop you like they'll talk to you. Remember that little skit?
Yeah.
You're doing your rude and nasty. And...
But you don't nasty.
Shout out to Mom Dukes. It's like, I feel like your family, you know, we had a pretty heavy conversation with one of the kids, and I said, you know, XY scenario, and I said, worst possible scenario that could happen, and I stopped and I said, if that scenario happened, God forbid, I'd still love you, I'd still ride with you. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to ride and die with you till the end, period. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that outsiders can't distribute justice. So, when you're looking at this song, all I ever wanted was a place to call home. All I ever got was a desolate place to roam, which obviously is a biblical... That's a biblical allusion where Jesus said that when a demon goes out of a person, it goes to waterless places seeking rest.
Okay.
So, all I ever wanted was a place to call home, and all I ever got was a desolate place to roam. Basically, he was demonized by his own family.
Oh.
There's a way to hold your family members accountable while still loving them unconditionally. And, unconditionality is a big theme for me with the kids. Just because I'm not saying my parents did a bad job at it. Because my parents, now that I'm a parent, had so many extenuating circumstances. But I go out of my way to display and show and speak unconditionality over the kids. Because that's really, really important. I would never want the kids to be in this situation. Like where they would say something like that. I think the kids are going to say the home isn't perfect and that dad isn't perfect and all the rest of it. But I trust, God willing, that they'll be able to say, yeah, my dad went out of his way to tell me that he loved me unconditionally in the midst of a lot of, crazy shit. And that manifests itself in different ways. And it's a very hard line between loving a person unconditionally and enabling horrible behavior.
Yep.
You need, at least from my vantage point, divine guidance is how to do that, because if you fall on either side of the ditch, you can be extremely destructive. Because on the one hand, we pity people that are treated this way, but we also can't stand trust fund kids.
Yeah.
Who completely
facts.
get enabled with everything and they're never told no and all the rest of it.
Yep.
So, that's a really hard balance to strike, especially with children. I mean, your spouse, it's different. Other people, it's different. But I think if there are people in your circle, like in your house that you call family, that there should be that unconditionality to the love. And if you don't, as Mike said, you could hear the pain in the guy's voice. And I usually don't like vocals like this because I'm like, oh my God, like the entire time you're going, ah! But I definitely felt like dude was having a hard time. Like,
yeah,
that he was seriously going through it and seriously relating to the lyrics of this song. That this wasn't just, hey.
I thought that this part was interesting. He said, words left unspoken are left in my mind where dreams are broken. And I was like, I wonder what that is. That's either he wished he would have stood up for himself when they were were breaking him.
Yeah.
Instead of letting, his heart get ravaged by hatred, that he should have spoke up for himself. Or it's like, sometimes I think that people are regretful of things that they've done or they've said, but they can't bring themselves to admit it because that somehow makes it more true than they're ready to face. And so they don't want to confess it or ask someone to forgive them or whatever. But I don't think that's where he was going. I think he's more looking at it like he wished he would have said something. But
yeah, well, he's saying I won't let my dreams be broken, which is a good, regardless of whether you're guilty or innocent or way too far down the badness scale. That's still a positive. You still want people to have that positive aspect because there's nothing. It's like we're reading in Atlas Shrugged where they said, what makes a bad man bad? Mm-hmm. And one of the answers in the book was a man without purpose. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times what we're calling a dream is just an idealized form of a person's purpose in life. And so
yep,
that is true. When a person really feels purposeless and that their dreams are come to naught, and then especially in a capitalist seats in Laban where you're just literally just a cog in a machine, that creates a very nihilistic and violent stream, particularly in men, particularly in young men.
Yeah.
It creates a real nihilistic, violent stream of thought. So even if the person...
Did you say when they're not heard? What did you say was it?
When they have no purpose.
Oh, no purpose, yeah.
When they feel completely purposeless and they feel that their dreams are dying or dead and they feel that all they have to look forward to is plugging into a machine, to a capitalist machine, it turns them into very bitter people who, especially in men, it manifests in violence. Because there's a certain rage and bitterness at this sort of mystical entity who took the dream from you. Mm-hmm. So no matter how bad the person is, you want them to still have a dream, because it'll keep everybody around them alive. And I mean that literally. Like, think about it.
Oh.
All these random active shooters and all that jazz, the vast majority of them are male. If they truly felt like they had something to lose, most of them wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. But the genesis of a lot of that, and it's funny too, like, and I know a little bit about this, even in the Islamic world, the folks who volunteer for those, quote, martyrdom operations are young men who feel that they have no future. The Israelis completely took their future from them. Whether or not that's true, and I believe it is in some degree.
Or when you think about where they've been radicalized because
Correct.
they've been put in, you know.
Yeah, you just saw your sister. She's going to some nice wedding, and the Americans can, from thousands of feet above, completely disintegrate her body right in front of you.
Yeah.
It makes you go, none of my dreams are worth anything, and then they become vulnerable.
Absolutely.
To these sheiks who, for some reason, are never the ones blowing themselves up. They become vulnerable to that. And so people want to have this simple, Islam, they just blow them there. Islam, they just blow themselves. Shut the fuck up. That's not, no. There are a lot of other geopolitical factors. Of course, Americans never want to take accountability for that. We just want to call people crazy and all the rest of it. But yeah, and that's why, like, there are different penologies, like theories of justice. And one is just pure punitive justice, which is you did something bad, we're going to punish you. We're not talking about developing you. We're not talking about, rehabilitating you. A lot of people go, oh, prison's supposed to be rehabilitative. No, that's just one. That's one theory of penology, which I agree with.
You think that
I believe in the rehabilitative theory of penology because I think it's, unless you're going to kill those people. Oddly enough.
No, I just think that the system needs to be different than it is.
No, I'm not even talking about the American system.
Okay.
I'm just talking about justice itself, the concept of justice.
Okay.
You want either, an extremely punitive society where you just kill people who are just in that 5% outlier group. So if you're a sexual assaulter, you're a murderer, see ya. Because if you let those people back into society, and you don't give them anything to rehabilitate themselves, and then they're in society as an outcast, they're going to do horrible shit. What did Cain do? He said, hey, you're going to drive me from the land. Anybody who finds me will kill me. God says, nah, you're good. And Cain was able to go, and what does he do? He builds a city.
Yeah, he builds a city.
He had a dream.
Yeah.
He had a son. God gave him a son. And he gave him the ingenuity and the dream to build a city. And so he's like, okay, Cain, go for it, bro. And he had something to occupy his time
It's true, because a lot of times when people get out of jail, they have a hard time finding jobs.
They have nothing.
And they can't get a job because
they can't get a job.
You're a convict? What?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So that right there is I think it's really important, and a lot of people have had that taken from them. And society sits in judgment of those people. And what I'm saying is, well, if you're not going to take them off the earth, then rehabilitative justice is the way to go.
Yeah.
Because if you're just saying, no, we just punish them, all you're doing is punishing society, because that person's going to get out eventually.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
So,
That's,
there you go.
Yep. So I really like the song a lot. This one's a 9.4 for me.
This song sonically was so all over the place.
In a negative or a positive?
In a positive way.
Yeah, I loved it.
Now,
it made me feel a little crazy.
I upset a lot of people, particular band, I won't mention them.
Oh no.
But there was one where it was just like, and this, and this, and this, and this. But I felt like the experimentation, because they were experimenting a little bit with some stuff, but it was still, it still made sense to me. The transitions and the jagged edges, all those made sense to me in the song.
Agreed.
And it made me very curious. This is the first time we've actually, Enterprise Earth is the name of the band. The first time I've ever actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't feel like we've done them before.
We've never heard them before, so shout out. But this is why we have the DJ streams, dear listener. Somebody in the comment section was like, "Why are you always listening to these no-name bands? Get back to the blah 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 blah." It's like,
that's true. Now that you commanded us to do that, we'll start right away, sir.
Yeah, and it's not like I mean, how many
ridiculous.
reaction channels are doing Enterprise Earth? Mm-hmm. I mean, we found a way to do this stuff and still make this, our source of income.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got the life, man. There's lots of Metallica Tool, channels
Well,
out
apparently
there.
they want to hear your input on it.
Channels out there. But anyway, I really like this song. 9 dot. I'm going to give it a solid 9 because I like the previous song better. Go ahead.
It's a
What'd you give it?
9.4 for me.
There
I
you
thought we were
are,
going to come up
dear
with the same
listener.
score.
If you're among the righteous and you're still in the stream, stand by. We're not even halfway done yet. Keep chilling out with us. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.